welcome to Changing India, the show where we explore various issues within our communities and see how New Age India is trying to turn these age-old problems into opportunities. So in this edition, we explore the organic farming movement in our country, how it is promising to change the way we grow our food and consume it. In the 1950s and 60s, for a newly independent India, it was extremely essential to become self-sufficient as far as food production was concerned. And the answer to that, of course, was the Green Revolution. While it did give us immediate high results, on the other hand, it did have some serious long-term impacts that we did not desire. Here's a report.
For a country emerging from the ravages of colonial rule, famine and lack of self-sufficiency in food production, the Green Revolution was a breath of fresh air. It was marked by the introduction of high-yielding variety seeds, adoption of modern irrigation and agriculture technologies, along with creating provisions for finance for farmers. In addition, a repeal of taxes on digging wells and abolition of the zamindari system acted as a catalyst for the Green Revolution. Consequently, through the 1960s and the 1970s, the production of cereals and grains surged. But as the years passed, the cost of this revolution slowly became apparent. Experts say excessive use of chemical fertilizers over time has degraded soil fertility in India. What's more, the use of electric tube wells has depleted groundwater tables in several states. For instance, data shows that India's groundwater resources are falling rapidly, with a NASA study estimating the rate of depletion at 1 meter every 3 years. India at present uses 230 to 250 cubic kilometers of groundwater each year. That's much more than the combined usage of United States and China. More than 60% of irrigated agriculture depends on groundwater, and its shrinking levels pose a serious challenge to future food security. In 2016, India produced more than 250 million tons of food grain. But there is still some way to go before India achieves self-sufficiency. In a country with a young and growing population, dropping levels of groundwater and shrinking fertile grounds make a case for more sustainable methods of agriculture. Bureau Report, WION.
While sustainable agriculture has become a modern-day buzzword, it's not really a new concept. In fact, in many ways, it is just going back to your traditional practices and going chemical-free. In our next report, we meet advocate turned farmer Aparna Rajgopal, who tells us why going back to our traditional farming practices, going chemical-free and adopting organic farming is the absolute need of the hour.
Taruna aruna se ranjit dharani, nablochan hai laal bhaiya, nablochan hai laal.
From the courtroom to this farm along the banks of Yamuna, former lawyer Aparna Rajagopal is today growing grains, legumes, millets, oilseeds along with seasonal vegetables, herbs and spices. Aparna draws inspiration from traditional farming techniques like Baranaja, which has been practiced in the Tehri Garhwal region in Uttarakhand for a long time. Baranaja is a Hindi word comprising of two words, Bara, which means 12, and Anaj, which means grain. It is a practice of growing 12 or more native crops in a synergistic combination.
Systems like Baranaja inspired me to try multi-cropping on the farm. We do cropping like, we do combinations, traditional combinations like alsi, chana and sarson. We also do small combinations like popular combinations like tomatoes and marigold. They go very well with each other. Beans and corn, they do really well. So whatever we grow, even now sugarcane, instead of growing it as a monocrop, you can grow it with haldi, you can grow it with other things that require a little shade. So we are trying out every crop that we grow, we try and find a combination or a system for it where we can have a nitrogen fixer or a herb or something to complement the main crop.
Multi-cropping is a crucial component of sustainable agriculture. which is central to organic farming. Organic farming is a broad concept that involves the use of natural fertilizers and methods of crop and weed control, as opposed to chemical and synthetic products. It is an approach that Aparna believes is the need of the hour.
We are staring at a future where we don't have enough farmers. It's a very scary situation. We are staring at a future where our topsoil is eroded. We are staring at a future where trees are cut down so indiscriminately that we won't have forests. We are staring at a future where all our indigenous wealth, whether it is cattle, whether it is seeds, whether it is wildlife, is all being destroyed by the minute, and we are going to lose it all. And there are some things that are not retrievable. I don't think we realize that.
Critics of organic farming often raise questions about its economic viability and the difficulty in scaling operations to produce enough to feed the world. However, Aparna believes that this is where governments need to play a crucial role.
Nobody asks a chemical farmer, how many chemicals are you using on your fields? What kind of chemicals are you putting? What is the dosage? What is the quantity? Let me test your vegetables. Are you injecting in your chemicals in your lauki? Nobody asks these chemical farmers a single question, right? But if you are converting into organic, it's almost like you're penalized. You have to apply for a certification.
Ensuring food security requires India to move away from chemical and monocrop farming towards sustainable agriculture practices such as Baranaja. But pushing such practices back into the mainstream requires policy level changes and financial support from the government. This is Priyanka Verma for WION in New Delhi.
While we talk about mainstreaming sustainable agriculture, did you know that India is home to the largest number of organic food producers worldwide? In fact, it was just last year that Sikkim was named India's first fully organic state. While the organic movement is still in its nascent stages across the world, demand for organic food and drinks is rapidly increasing. Here's a report.
It has often been touted as a silver bullet to meet the challenges of agriculture globally. Despite that, the organic farming movement is still at a very nascent stage around the world. For starters, merely around 50.9 million hectares of land is classified as organic agricultural land. That's just around 1.1% of the total global agricultural land. While India boasts of nearly 1.2 million hectares of organic agricultural land, this accounts for just around 0.7% of the total arable land in the country. The organic movement in India, however, did receive a boost after Sikkim was declared as the country's first organic state last year. It's something that's prompted states like Kerala, Mizoram, and Arunachal Pradesh to pick up pace. Data shows that with nearly 0.6 million organic producers, the highest globally, India produces around 1.24 million tons of organic food. So what is the market that these producers are looking to capture? Worldwide, organic food and drink sales have increased from roughly $18 billion to almost $82 billion over past 15 years. While the US and Europe remain the dominant markets, the share of Asian nations like China as a market for organic food products is on the rise. In India, meanwhile, the size of organic food market is still small, roughly at $0.36 billion. Despite that, it's a market that is growing at a rate of nearly 25 to 30%, offering a host of new opportunities. Bureau Report, WION.
The agriculture sector accounts for nearly 50% of India's workforce, with many of these farmers with small land holdings. So while practicing organic farming gives us the prospect of having a sustainable future, at the same time for a small-time farmer to shift from conventional farming practices to organic farming is a rather cumbersome and expensive process. Here's a report.
India is home to the largest number of organic producers globally. But still a vast majority of Indian farmers continue to follow conventional practices, relying on pesticides, chemical fertilizers and monocropping to ensure higher yields. Proponents of organic farming say that this is unsustainable. They argue that practicing organic farming instead can help cut input costs, fetch a premium price on produce and improve soil fertility.
Actually, it's completely possible for two reasons. One is 80% of all our holdings in India are small holdings, right? It's not, farmers don't individually own huge tracts of land, they own small pieces of land. If every farmer is encouraged by the government to adopt certain practices which are traditional, which which would encourage them to grow clean food, crops that are suited to their region, crops with indigenous seeds and practices, they will do very well.
However, making the change from conventional to organic is not that easy. For instance, farmers often have to wait for 3 years to obtain an organic classification for their products. This places a serious financial burden on them in the short term, given that organic food market in India is still small.
When we say that the cost is less, yes, cost is less, but it's also that the yields go less, and the revenues what come from organic farming, when we say that the revenues fetch more price, revenues will fetch more price only when there are enough takers for the organic production. So today, as we talk, the number of takers for organic production, let me talk about, say, one of the prominent cities, Hyderabad. In Hyderabad, cumulatively, not more than 2,000 families eat organic food. And I think Hyderabad must be having a population of around 8 millions. And just if 2,000 families are eating organic food, even if the price, what it fetches is more, what a small fraction it is compared to the total population. And that is why even if 250-300 farmers properly grow organic food, it doesn't have enough market.
Experts say that given the current scenario, it is unlikely that India will witness a rapid spurt in organic agriculture. One key aspect is government support to producers, allowing them to tide over the financial strain of switching from conventional farming. Another is addressing demand-related issues, such as better regulations to monitor quality of food, which will inspire consumer confidence. In New Delhi, Shubhankar Basu, WION.
It's not just the government. The private sector in India too needs to play a key role in encouraging sustainable agriculture. So in our next report, we take a look at a company in India's Silicon Valley of Bengaluru that is attempting to do just that by having its own little organic farm within its campus. Bengaluru is a city that has 78% of its area covered in paved surfaces. So it can be safely assumed that there is barely any space left to create lung spaces, let alone agricultural farms. But a tech company in the Silicon City is attempting to make a change in its own way. Saskin Technologies in Bengaluru's buzzing Domlur area has its own little organic garden. Located in the heart of the city, this IT company has different veggies being grown completely chemical-free on a 1-acre plot in its campus.
We took up this property, cleaned up the complete property, and then we picked up the part of the soil and then gave it for testing. Once the testing was done, we came to know the pH value of this land, and we found that the things like corn, the vegetables like tomatoes, vegetables like beet, vegetables like carrot, bitter gourd, such kind of vegetables, spinaches, will work out well in this particular property, and then we started this initiative.
From fresh spinach to tasty tomatoes, this organic garden has most of the essential produce for an Indian kitchen. The tech company also takes care to not draw excess water for its garden, hence has a setup to tap and use rainwater and treated sewage water to grow the plants.
When we thought of starting this initiative, we're not very sure how we can pull it out because we don't have any capabilities or any kind of resources to manage this. And we thought of let's give it a shot because we have a land, we should do some greenery. And since we are into the EMS, certified company, so we should do something for the environment. We always do a lot of things about the environment, so we took up this challenge. And with the help of our gardener, we started doing it. But believe me, the first crop was so good that I had never seen such kind of produce in my entire life. In childhood, I used to go to the farm and used to see that. But obviously, it's an organic farm, completely chemical free, and in that you can get such a nice produce. That was amazing, and we said, wow, we can do better farming than our regular now jobs.
The employees of this 1,000-member campus are a thrilled lot. Not only do they get to witness organic farming firsthand, but also get to use the veggies that they grow. Vegetable mandis are organized a couple of times a week, in which the harvested produce is sold to the employees at a nominal price.
I'm thrilled about it. The reason being, there are two reasons behind that. One is it's a strain buster, and I sit on one of the floors from where I can actually see this garden. So whenever we are, and I'm from the support function, so we do get strain. So the best way of, getting out of that strain is just come and have a look and see, okay, the gardeners are working, watering the plants. So it's a great thrill about it. And that is one of my passion also, one of my hobby. And secondly, on Tuesdays and Thursdays when, I get a mail from FMS saying that, the vegetables are available. So we all rush towards that and, we just stand there. In fact, once I literally took my laptop and I was sitting and working there till the vegetables came, and then I bought and went back to my seat.
The company has had the garden for almost 3 months now and have harvested produce over a dozen times. A circular is sent to all the employees every time the veggies are ready to be sold, and the thrilled staff make a beeline to get their hands on the fresh, chemical-free produce. Well, the corporate sector of Bengaluru has often come up with innovative solutions to various problems they face, and now it seems like they have a solution to the agricultural issues in the country as well. A corporate company in Bengaluru has come up with the idea of having its own organic farm, and the produce of which is sold to the employees at a nominal price. And these employees are not just ecstatic about the effort that their company has put, but have also gone back home and created their own organic garden. Well, it seems like other companies in the city can take a cue from this one. In Bengaluru, with video journalist Padmanabha Rao, Nishtita, WION. Just like the employees of Saskin Technologies, more and more people are understanding the health benefits of organic food, and thereby the demand is rising. But for the organic market in the country to really gather steam, there is an urgent need to enhance consumer awareness and competitive pricing. Here's a report.
It's early days, but the organic food and drinks market in India has shown steady growth over the past few years. Going forward, experts say that one of the keys to its success will be consumer awareness about the benefits of organic produce.
The benefits of eating organic food is that when we eat food which is not organic, it is full of chemicals, pesticides. Like for example, if we take say vegetables or fruits or even anaj, grains, there is a lot of pesticide which is sprayed on the grains, so that the bacteria and other things, other rodents, etc. don't eat it. So when we choose organic, we are basically choosing as nature intended it to be. We are choosing basically organic means chemical free.
Stores such as Malik Brothers and Organic Sikkim are among a few places in Delhi where organic foods are easily available. The store owners claim that with increasing awareness, the demand for organic foods is slowly rising.
Over the years, I've seen people moving towards organic food, especially, people who are very health conscious, and if I have to say, a lot of young mothers, and so preferences, the preferences have changed over the years. There's definitely a shift.
However, one of the biggest challenges before organic food sellers is pricing. Organic goods are on an average 40% more expensive than conventional groceries.
Price-wise, it's expensive. A layman cannot keep on continuing using it. So this is one of the reasons which why I have not used it.
Another concern is labeling, with consumers telling us that they often find it difficult to trust labels.
We cannot rely whether it is organic or non-organic, as it's a wave, nowadays, organic. So I'm pretty sure that people must be selling anything in the name of organic.
Over the past few years, organic food and drinks market in India has grown at a rate of 20 to 30%. If this has to be spurred further, the solutions are simple. Sellers need to win consumer confidence and build trust, along with ensuring competitive pricing. With Shubhangi Daga, this is Shilpika for WION.
Well, that's all we have in this edition of Changing India. Do check out our website wionnews.com for all these stories and much more. And also follow us on various social media platforms. As always, news and updates will continue on WION. Stay tuned.